Biology has played a key role in the way humans interact with each other and their environment. Things like disease and famine have influenced wars, settlements, and inventions throughout history.
In this video, we hope to shed some light on key points that highlight how biology has influenced history.
Disease has existed since the beginning of time, but has affected humans much more ever since we established permanent settlements and domesticated animals. Ancient peoples lacked knowledge of microbiology, and the cause of diseases was unknown. One of the greatest plagues was the Black Death, or bubonic plague, a deadly disease with terrible symptoms that almost always ended in a painful death. It began in Eastern Asia and quickly spread along major trade routes to the Middle East, North Africa, and soon Europe. It quickly affected and killed millions, especially in overcrowded, unsanitary cities. The actual cause was unknown at the time, and medieval medicine had no effect.
Bacteria are found almost everywhere and grow in colonies in which they reproduce rapidly by asexual budding or fission. In fact, one of the most widely known diseases, cholera, was diagnosed with the discovery of the bacteria Vibrio cholera in the stool of the test subject. Cholera affects an estimated of 3 to 5 million people worldwide and causes 58,000 to 130 deaths a year as of 2010. Bacteria are found almost everywhere and grow in colonies in which they reproduce rapidly by asexual budding or fission. Bacteria were unknown until the 1600s when Anton von.
Biology also helped feed the growing populations around the world. Hybrid corn also helped feed millions. Along with new plants, countries were advised to rely upon several different sources of food, so that in the event of drought, disease, or biological warfare, the country would not be deprived of food.
Cells of bacteria are different from other cells in that it's single-celled and lacks a nucleus.
New hybrid plants that grow faster and are more tenacious than previous plants were introduced, which prevented famine in countries without a stable government.
The discovery of bacteria revolutionized modern healthcare, extended life expectancy, and increased infant survival rates, which led to population growth, supported by new technologies that increased food production.
Biological weapons can be divided into three groups: germs, toxins, and plant growth regulators. Some germs cause cholera, others cause typhoid fever, plague, and such diseases. Toxins are special poisons produced by other germs. They do the harm in diseases like food poisoning and diphtheria. Special plant growth regulators can destroy food crops, just as weed killer can destroy weeds.
Poisons have been able to kill for thousands of years, but microbiology wasn't used to the advantage of warring countries until Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch. Germans were the first to use biological and chemical weapons in World War I, but were small scale. Japanese began to use biological weapons in World War II in conquest for China. The program killed as many as 600 prisoners who were tested in one center of 26. But how does biological warfare work? A biological weapon uses a bacteria or virus, or in some cases toxins that come directly from bacteria to kill people. Some commonly used biological agents are Ebola, which kills in 1 week, botulinum toxin, deadly in small amounts, about 1/1,000,000,000 of a gram, and causes muscle contractions. Tularemia causes fever and respiratory problems, has effective vaccines and antibiotics. Pneumonic plague infests the lungs and kills within 3 to 4 days if not treated. Anthrax, spores can get into lungs and reproduce. And smallpox, virus that is very contagious and kills in about 2 weeks.